Imagine waking up every day with a sense of direction so clear it feels like your life is unfolding exactly as it should. No confusion, no self-doubt, just pure unwavering clarity guiding your every move. Now, imagine what it would be like to shut out the noise, quiet the chaos, and finally listen to the one voice that truly matters, your own. What if the key to unlocking your greatest potential is simply learning to trust yourself and silence everything else? We are constantly surrounded by noise. It's not just the physical noise, the chatter of conversations, the sounds of traffic, or the endless notifications on our phones. It's the mental and emotional noise that creeps into our minds, filling our thoughts with doubts, worries, and confusion. This noise is often louder than our own voice, and it can drown out our inner guidance. Every day, we are bombarded by messages about who we should be, what we should want, and how we should live our lives. Society, media, family, and friends all have their own opinions about what's best for us, but too often these external voices cause us to lose sight of our own. From an early age, we are conditioned to seek approval and validation from others. We are taught to look outward for direction, to follow the rules, and to measure our success by societal standards. We begin to believe that the key to happiness lies in external achievements, earning a degree, landing a prestigious job, or acquiring material wealth. We chase these goals, thinking they will lead us to fulfillment, but all the while we may be ignoring our true desires, the ones that come from deep within us. The noise of society is loud, and it's relentless. It tells us that success looks like a corporate career, a perfect family, a fancy house, or a social media highlight reel. It tells us that to be loved or accepted, we need to fit in, be normal, and follow the path that others have walked before us. And when we don't measure up to these expectations, we start to question ourselves. We feel lost, disconnected, and unsure of who we really are. But here's the problem. In all of this noise, we begin to lose touch with our true selves. We forget what makes us unique, what excites us, what inspires us. The constant pressure to conform forces us to suppress our authentic desires and chase after things that don't truly bring us joy or fulfillment. We start to live according to someone else's idea of success, and in doing so, we slowly drift away from our own path. The noise is so pervasive that we often don't even realize how much it's shaping our decisions. We find ourselves making choices based on what's expected, what's safe, or what will make others proud. We may start to ignore that quiet voice inside us, the one that knows what we truly want, what we're truly capable of. And before we know it, we are living a life that doesn't fully reflect who we are. The problem with this is that when we lose sight of our true self, we become disconnected from the very thing that brings us peace, purpose, and fulfillment. We begin to feel like something is missing, like we are going through the motions without really living. We may achieve external success, but if it's not aligned with who we truly are, it will never bring us lasting happiness. The key to breaking free from this overwhelming noise is to quiet the distractions and listen to the whispers of our own hearts. It requires us to step back, to pause, and to reconnect with the truth inside us. We must be brave enough to tune out the opinions of others, to ignore the pressure to conform, and to trust our instincts. Only then can we start to hear our own voice clearly. By silencing the noise, we make room for our true selves to emerge. We stop living according to someone else's expectations and start living authentically according to our own values, passions, and desires. And when we do this, we find that the path forward becomes clearer, more fulfilling, and more aligned with who we truly are. The noise of society will always be there, but we have the power to choose whether we let it dictate our lives or whether we choose to trust the inner voice that knows our true purpose. When we silence the noise and reconnect with ourselves, we are free to live the life we were always meant to live. In a world that constantly values opinions, approval, and external recognition, it's easy to lose sight of what really matters. We live in a society that thrives on external validation, constantly encouraging us to measure our worth by how others see us. From social media likes to accolades at work, from the approval of family and friends to the praise of colleagues, it often feels like our value is determined by others' judgments. But when we rely too heavily on external validation, we risk losing touch with our true selves, letting others dictate our choices and clouding our ability to make decisions that align with our deepest desires and purpose. External validation is powerful because it taps into our inherent need to be accepted. As human beings, we have a deep desire to feel seen, heard, and valued. It's natural to seek affirmation from those around us, especially from people whose opinions we respect or who hold influence over our lives. This desire for validation, however, can become a double-edged sword. While positive feedback can feel good and encourage us to continue pursuing our goals, it can also start to shape our actions, leading us to make choices based on what we think others want from us rather than what is truly best for ourselves. When we focus too much on gaining external approval, we begin to prioritize what others think over our own needs and desires. We may find ourselves taking on projects or pursuing goals that don't truly align with who we are, simply because we think they will win us praise or recognition. We might conform to societal expectations, even when they don't resonate with our inner truth because we fear judgment or rejection. And over time, this can create a profound sense of disconnection, a feeling that we are living someone else's life instead of our own. The problem is external validation can cloud our judgment. It makes us question our decisions, especially when they don't align with the opinions or expectations of others. We may hesitate to take risks, pursue unconventional dreams, or make choices that feel right to us because we fear criticism or disapproval. The more we rely on the external validation of others, the more we lose trust in our own intuition, our inner compass, and our ability to make choices based on what is truly best for us. When we give others the power to define our worth or determine the validity of our decisions, we lose our autonomy. We begin to live reactively, always adjusting our choices to fit the mold of what is deemed acceptable or admirable by others. This creates an ongoing cycle of seeking approval, only to realize that no amount of recognition ever truly fulfills the emptiness inside. External validation, no matter how much we receive, can never replace the deep sense of satisfaction and fulfillment that comes from living authentically and making decisions that align with our own inner voice. So how do we break free from this cycle? It starts with trusting ourselves. We must learn to quiet the external noise and tune into our own thoughts, desires, and values. We must cultivate the courage to make decisions based on what feels right for us, even if those decisions go against the grain of what others expect or want. When we begin to trust our own judgment and follow our own path, we reclaim our power. Living authentically requires that we free ourselves from the need for constant approval. We must accept that not everyone will agree with our choices, and that's okay. In fact, that's often a sign that we are on the right path. When we are truly following our inner voice, we might face criticism, resistance, or misunderstanding from others, but we can rest assured that we are making decisions that align with our deepest truth. The real freedom comes when we learn to trust ourselves fully, to make decisions from a place of inner clarity, and to embrace our own worth without needing validation from the outside world. Once we start living this way, we'll find that the noise of external opinions fades into the background, and we can hear the clear, steady voice of our true self guiding us every step of the way. Trusting yourself means stepping into your own power, living for you, not for anyone else. In a world full of advice, analysis, and constant noise, one of the most underappreciated sources of guidance we have is our own instincts and intuition. Yet these inner signals are often the most powerful tools we can rely on when making decisions, navigating challenges, and aligning with our true purpose. The problem is, many of us have been conditioned to doubt or dismiss our instincts, relying instead on external advice, logical reasoning, or the opinions of others. We've been taught to overthink, to second-guess ourselves, and to prioritize what others believe is best for us, rather than listening to the quiet whispers of our own inner wisdom. But our instincts and intuition are not random. They are deeply connected to our unique life experiences, values, and inherent wisdom. They represent a deep knowing within us, the result of accumulated knowledge, experiences, and an understanding that comes from within. Often our intuition taps into things we can't immediately explain or articulate. It is a sense of knowing something is right or wrong without needing any evidence. It is that inner compass that has been honed by our lives and experiences, guiding us toward decisions that are aligned with who we truly are. Trusting your instincts means acknowledging that you know yourself best. You have spent a lifetime developing your own sense of what feels right, and it's time to trust that knowledge. While external advice and opinions can be valuable, they should not replace your internal knowing. When we follow our instincts, we align with our true path, and our decisions become more in tune with our authentic self. It's not about rejecting others' input entirely, but about balancing it with the wisdom that already resides within you. The beauty of intuition is that it often doesn't require lengthy deliberation. It's the gut feeling that tells you to go left when everyone else is going right, or to pursue a new opportunity when the logic may not seem to make sense. It's that quiet whisper you feel in your heart that says, this is the right thing for me. Our instincts and intuition are often the most direct connection to our truth, bypassing the overthinking that can trap us in fear and indecision. When we fail to trust our intuition, we risk losing touch with our authenticity. The more we ignore that inner guidance, the more disconnected we become from our true selves, leading to confusion, indecisiveness, and a sense of aimlessness. This is why so many people feel stuck or unfulfilled. They're relying too heavily on the external noise, not trusting their gut, and ignoring the internal wisdom that could lead them to their true path. On the other hand, when we learn to trust our instincts, we start to make decisions with greater clarity and confidence. Our intuition helps us cut through the clutter and the distractions, allowing us to make choices that resonate with our values and desires. It empowers us to take bold steps, even when the path ahead is unclear or the risks are high. It gives us the courage to pursue dreams that might seem impossible to others, but feel deeply aligned with who we are. Trusting your instincts also fosters a deeper sense of self-trust. The more we listen to our inner voice, the more confident we become in our ability to navigate life's challenges. We stop second-guessing ourselves and start moving forward with faith in our own judgment. This confidence is contagious. It not only propels us toward our goals, but also inspires others to trust their own intuition as well. It's important to remember that intuition isn't always loud or dramatic. Sometimes it's a subtle pull, a quiet knowing that something is right or wrong. But that subtle guidance is often the most reliable. By paying attention to it and learning to trust it, we make decisions that are aligned with our authentic selves and with the vision we have for our lives. So the next time you face a difficult decision or find yourself at a crossroads, tune into your intuition, trust your gut. Your instincts have been honed over a lifetime of experiences, and they hold the key to your true path. By listening to them, you are giving yourself the greatest gift of all, the confidence to follow your own truth, and the freedom to create a life that is uniquely yours. In today's world, the pressure to conform and follow established paths is stronger than ever. Society often lays out clear and well-trodden routes for success, such as pursuing a traditional education, climbing the corporate ladder, or living a certain lifestyle. While these paths may seem safe or predictable, they are not the only routes to success or the most fulfilling ones. Innovation, creativity, and true success are born when we dare to step away from the crowd, trust our own instincts, and forge our own path. When we follow the crowd, we often follow the rules, the norms, and the expectations that have been set for us. We may pursue goals that others define as important or desirable, but these goals may not resonate with our authentic selves. The danger of following someone else's path is that we risk becoming just another face in the crowd, living a life that meets external standards, but lacks the deep fulfillment and purpose that come from pursuing what truly excites us. True innovation is not found in the status quo. It's found in the courage to break from tradition and take risks. Think about the greatest innovators in history, individuals like Steve Jobs, Marie Curie, Albert Einstein, and Maya Angelou. None of them achieved greatness by following the conventional wisdom of their time. They didn't settle for the safety of the path that others had walked before them. They broke away from the crowd and paved new roads that led to groundbreaking achievements. They trusted their own visions, even when others told them their ideas were too radical, too risky, or too unrealistic. But it was precisely because they trusted their inner voice and pursued their own path that they were able to create something extraordinary. Innovation is born from thinking differently, from challenging assumptions, and from refusing to accept things as they are. It's about seeing things through a unique lens and having the courage to act on those insights even when no one else can see the vision yet. It requires stepping away from the norms and daring to ask, what if, when you follow your own path, you tap into your own creativity and vision? You free yourself from the constraints of how things are done and open up to the endless possibilities that come from thinking outside the box. The road less traveled often holds the most transformative opportunities because it's where you are most likely to find new perspectives, new solutions, and new ways of doing things that others haven't thought of yet. Of course, following your own path isn't always easy. It's often filled with uncertainty, risk, and the fear of failure. Society doesn't always reward unconventional thinking, and it can be difficult to navigate when you feel like you're going against the grain. But that's exactly what makes it so valuable. The path that everyone else is following is likely overcrowded, and it's easy to get lost or stuck there. On the other hand, when you dare to take your own route, you're likely to find space for growth, freedom, and true fulfillment. Success, too, is defined differently when you follow your own path. It's not about meeting someone else's expectations or checking off the conventional milestones. It's about aligning your work with your passion and your values. It's about creating something meaningful, something that resonates with your true self, and something that leaves a legacy of authenticity behind. When you create success on your own terms, you feel a sense of ownership and pride in your journey because it is a reflection of who you are, not just a collection of achievements. The courage to follow your own path is not always rewarded immediately, but it always pays off in the long run. The individuals who have changed the world did not do so by following someone else's footsteps. They did it by carving out their own way, by trusting their instincts, and by refusing to be swayed by the opinions of others. They created their own definition of success, and they built something that was uniquely their own. If you want to truly innovate and create success in your life, you must be willing to take the road less traveled. Don't be afraid to challenge conventions, to take risks, and to trust your own vision. The world needs more people who are brave enough to follow their own path, because it is those people who bring new ideas, new solutions, and new possibilities into the world. So dare to step off the beaten path, trust your instincts, and pave your own way to success. Fear and doubt are universal emotions that everyone experiences at some point in their lives, especially when embarking on a journey of personal growth or pursuing a new path. Whether you're striving to start a new venture, make a life-changing decision, or simply follow your own authentic desires, these emotions have a way of creeping in, trying to undermine your confidence and steer you off course. The truth is, fear and doubt are natural parts of the human experience, but they don't have to dictate your future. The challenge lies in learning how to recognize these feelings, understand their root cause, and rise above them to stay true to your purpose. Fear, in its many forms, often arises when we step into the unknown or challenge the status quo. It could be the fear of failure, the fear of rejection, or the fear of not being good enough. These fears can be paralyzing, causing us to second-guess ourselves, procrastinate, or give up altogether. Doubt, on the other hand, often whispers to us that we're not capable, that our dreams are too big, or that we aren't worthy of success. It feeds on our insecurities, making us question our abilities and our value. When we allow fear and doubt to take hold, they can cloud our judgment, stifle our creativity, and derail our progress. What makes fear and doubt so powerful is that they tend to exaggerate the negative possibilities. They amplify our worst-case scenarios, convincing us that failure is inevitable or that we are destined for disappointment. But here's the key: fear and doubt are not necessarily accurate reflections of reality. More often than not, they are rooted in our past experiences, limiting beliefs, or societal conditioning, rather than objective truth. Fear may tell you that taking risk is dangerous, but without risk there is no growth. Doubt may tell you that your dreams are impossible, but countless examples of people overcoming obstacles prove that success is achievable. The key to navigating fear and doubt is to acknowledge them without letting them control your decisions. It's important to remember that feeling afraid or uncertain doesn't mean you are on the wrong path. In fact, it may be a sign that you're on the verge of something meaningful and transformative. Growth, innovation, and progress are often uncomfortable, and fear is a natural byproduct of pushing beyond your limits. Instead of running from fear, embrace it. Let it be a signal that you are stretching yourself, that you are stepping out of your comfort zone and into new possibilities. Doubt, too, can be a useful tool. It forces you to evaluate your choices, refine your approach, and strengthen your resolve, but it should never be the deciding factor in whether you move forward or not. When doubt arises, ask yourself whether it is based on facts or simply a reflection of your insecurities. Often, doubt is the mind's way of protecting us from perceived failure or rejection, but it doesn't necessarily indicate that your ideas or goals are flawed. It just means you need to trust yourself and keep moving forward despite the uncertainty. The most important thing to remember is that fear and doubt are not permanent. They may show up again and again, but they do not define your journey. The key to overcoming them is to keep taking action, even in the face of uncertainty. Each small step you take builds confidence, and with each step, the fear and doubt begin to diminish. Over time, you'll develop the resilience to push past these emotions and keep moving toward your purpose. Staying focused on your purpose and vision can help you rise above fear and doubt. When you are clear about what you want to achieve and why it matters, it becomes easier to ignore the negative thoughts and distractions that try to pull you off track. The more you connect with your true self, your values, and your deepest desires, the less room there is for fear and doubt to take root. You will find strength in your conviction, knowing that you are on the right path for you, regardless of how difficult it may seem. Ultimately, fear and doubt will always be part of the journey, but they don't have to control it. They are simply temporary emotions that arise when you challenge yourself to grow, to create, and to live authentically. By acknowledging them, embracing them, and continuing to move forward despite them, you will become more resilient and more aligned with your true purpose. And as you continue on your path, you'll find that fear and doubt become less powerful, and the confidence in yourself and your purpose becomes stronger than ever before. In the age of information, we are constantly bombarded with distractions, notifications, emails, social media, updates, and the endless stream of news and opinions. These distractions are not only external, but often internal, pulling us in different directions and making it difficult to focus on what truly matters. We live in a world where being busy is often mistaken for being productive, and where the constant noise of others' voices can cloud our ability to connect with our own deeper wisdom. In such an environment, it's easy to lose touch with the clarity that comes from within, the kind of clarity that enables us to make decisions with confidence, purpose, and alignment. When we are constantly surrounded by noise, whether from the outside world or our own restless thoughts, it becomes almost impossible to hear our inner voice. The clutter of modern life creates a fog, and in that fog, we lose sight of our true direction. But beneath all that noise, within the stillness, lies the clarity we need to move forward in a way that's aligned with our true self. The key to unlocking this clarity is learning how to silence the distractions, quiet the mental chatter, and create the space to connect with our inner wisdom. Silencing distractions is not just about turning off our phones or shutting down our computers. It's about being mindful of what occupies our mental and emotional space. How often do we allow others' opinions to sway us? How often do we get caught up in comparison Scrolling through social media and measuring our lives against those of others, the constant bombardment of external inputs can leave us feeling overwhelmed, lost, and uncertain. When we are constantly reacting to the noise around us, we lose our ability to think clearly, to make decisions from a place of inner truth, and to move forward with conviction. True clarity comes when we step away from the noise, even if just for a few moments each day, and reconnect with ourselves. This requires intentionality and discipline. It requires us to create space in our lives for quiet reflection, for deep listening, and for connecting with our inner thoughts and feelings. It means giving ourselves permission to pause and to be still, even if the world around us is moving at a frantic pace. In these moments of stillness, we can hear our intuition, our gut feelings, and our heart's desires, all of which provide the guidance we need to move forward with purpose. One powerful way to create clarity is through mindfulness and meditation. Taking time each day to be present with ourselves, whether through deep breathing, journaling, or simply sitting in silence, can help quiet the distractions and bring our awareness back to the present moment. In these moments of stillness, we can access the deeper parts of ourselves that are often drowned out by the noise of daily life. This practice allows us to filter out the unnecessary and focus on what truly matters. Another important aspect of silencing distractions is learning to trust that the clarity we seek is already within us. It's easy to get caught up in the idea that we need external answers, validation, or advice before we can make a decision. However, the most profound answers often come from within. When we trust our inner wisdom, we empower ourselves to make decisions that are authentic and in alignment with our true purpose. The more we practice listening to this inner guidance, the more we cultivate a sense of self-assurance and confidence in our ability to navigate life's challenges. As we silence the distractions, we begin to notice the power of clarity in our lives. Decisions become easier to make because we are no longer clouded by confusion or doubt. We begin to feel more connected to our true selves, and as a result, we become more aligned with our goals, values, and desires. The fog begins to lift, and we can see the path ahead more clearly, with a sense of direction and purpose. In a world that is always pulling us in different directions, creating clarity is one of the most powerful things we can do for ourselves. By intentionally silencing distractions, quieting the noise, and tuning into our own inner voice, we can find the clarity we need to live a life of purpose, meaning, and authenticity. When we connect with our true selves, we discover that we already have everything we need within us to succeed. All it takes is the courage to trust that inner clarity and allow it to guide us toward the life we were always meant to live.